Whoa everybody, how you doing, man? I'm veteran comic book creator Brian Pulido, most of the publisher of Coffin Comics and the creator of Lady Death. Figured I'd give you a little bit of my resume. This is the first time that we've gone live on YouTube ever, and we're going live today because in around 20 minutes we're going to launch our first Indiegogo. And our first Indiegogo is called Lady Death the Collection, and that's what this broadcast is going to be about. I'm going to show you a little bit about Lady Death the Collection, introduce you to the Coffin crew, which is our staff, so that you guys and gals out there can get to know us, to know what we're really about. So without further ado, we'll kind of get into that. Right now, if you take a look at it, we're in Coffin, and we're in a room that we like to call the War Room, the War Room. And but look, we're here today for Lady Death the Collection. So what is Lady Death? Well, I'll tell you. Lady Death is a sword-wielding anti-hero who battles evil. And she's been doing this in comics for over 25 years. The young man to my left, we're going to say hello to in a minute. That's Nick. We'll talk to him in a second. But yeah, Lady Death, and Nick is actually going to be launching, right?
Yeah, I have the button.
You have the button, so like we're going in like 19, 18 minutes. First time on Indiegogo. Crazy. Lady Death, sword-wielding anti-hero who battles evil in hell. 25-year publishing history. However, I've been publishing her under the Coffin Comics banner for about 5 years. We have 10 quote-unquote chapters of Lady Death out. In fact, let me show them to you. And that's why we're doing a crowdfund on Indiegogo. Because here are the chapters, and you know what? We're running out of them. We're just about sold out. So the reason for our Indiegogo for Lady Death the Collection is to get each of our 10 chapters back in print and to do a lot of enhancements, to upgrade the covers. If we hit a stretch goal of about 35,000, maybe we will add foil enhancements to each cover. But let me tell you a little bit about it. So a given Lady Death chapter, and this is the format that we publish in, is at least 48 pages in square bound. So that's 48 pages, typically not too many ads. And I'll show you, this is representative of the quality of the art in the first chapter, which was called Chaos Rules. It's cool, there's Lady Death and Hell, and there's Cerebus in the background. So our era of Lady Death takes place when she wakes up after 20 years for a curse-induced slumber. And the story is about her awakening and trying to find out exactly who did this to her. And this sets off a series of adventures which culminates in chapter 7 with an all-out war in hell. And then after chapter 7, she actually comes to Earth, and that begins a whole nother adventure. So yeah, this is representative. And look, I'm gonna let you guys and gals know out there that Lady Death is really targeted for college age and above readers. It's not for kids. It's a little edgier, extra sex and violence in it. So yeah, check it out. A couple more pages from our first ever chapter. Really neat. So, okay, so the collection, 10 chapters, Chaos Rules, Damnation Gain, Extinction Express, Oblivion Kiss, Merciless Onslaught, Unholy Ruin, Apocalyptic Abyss, Nightmare Symphony, Scorched Earth, and Blasphemy Anthem. I'll show you some more pages. It's a more recent one called Blasphemy Anthem. Artwork by Diego Bernard. So myself and my co-writer Mike McLean have written 9 of these. We were joined on the first chapter by Mr. Brian Augustin. An artist named Jiraj Verma illustrated the first 7 chapters. Anthony Spey illustrated the 8th chapter, and since then our artist has been Diego Bernard. Our book has been colored by Sabine Rich, and then followed by Cece De La Cruz. In every Coffin Comics product has been lettered by veteran letterer Marshall Dillon. So you have a pretty tight crew. Some cool shot. Hey, this is a group that we have. It's like our version of the Avengers. They are called the Sworn. The Sworn. They're all brought together for this gigantic adventure. Let me show you this cool shot of them touching down. Some cool fun art. Mike McLean, again, my co-writer on most of the chapters and most of the Coffin universe. We're actually probably going to do another YouTube again tomorrow, and Mike's going to join me. Now also, besides the 10 chapters, which we're looking to get back in print, which is the reason for our Indiegogo, we actually are offering some art books. The art book Naughty, which is 47 naughty themed pieces of art. Its sequel, Naughtier, with another 47 new pages of naughtier art, cover by Eric Basaluda, naughty cover by Paolo Pantalena, and then we have Lady Death Masterpieces. That's 200 pages of art by a who's who. This comes in a slipcase. So it actually comes in its own box too. So nice thick volume, in-house already. Incredible amount of art. Really a who's who. Let's go through a couple pages. Here, I'm gonna bring it out here. Let's go through a couple. So Lady Death Masterpieces, Volume 1. First page by Stephen Hughes. Some art by Mike Crome, Paolo Pantalena, Mike DiBalfo, Dawn McTague, Mark Silvestri, boom, Colette Turner, Art Germ, Dan Mendoza, Alex Ronald, Elias Chazoudis, Sora Sung, Niai Rafino, David Harrigan, Jamie Tyndall. I mean, the list goes on. Jen Brumhill, Diego Bernard, Frank Cho, Monty Moore, incredible. Richard Ortiz, again, Niai Rafino, Paolo Pantalena, Ashley Witter. The list goes on. So this other artists include Jay Anicoletto, Mirka Adolfo, Jim Ballin, Eric Basaluda, J. Scott Campbell, Greg Capullo. It's crazy. It's a career-spanning piece. Again, over close to 200 pieces. So another way to catch up in Lady Death the collection is through trades and hardcovers. So we've actually collected 2 volumes. Volume 1 of Lady Death Lives, we call it, collects the first 3 chapters, that's 150 pages. And then Volume 2 collects chapters 4 through 7. We additionally have those in hardcover format. They're beautiful as well. So all these items comprise what we call the collection. And this is our way of coming into Indiegogo culture, getting kind of a baseline. You guys get a chance to know what we're about, what Coffin Comics is about, and our selection of products. And if you guys embrace us, you choose to enjoy our stuff, then perhaps into the new year, some of our crowdfunding campaigns will be closer together, maybe Kickstarters and Indiegogos of our brand new material run at the same time. So we'll see. While you're here, Jim, would you mind stepping back a little and we'll take a look at the room that we're in. Now, thanks to crowdfunding, it's completely changed our lives. And if you take a look inside this room, what you're looking at is the Pulido archive. Due to crowdfunding, we're actually able to have this entire building that we're in called HQ. In fact, you want to just take a break and we're going to go outside. I'll show you the whole darn building. It's pretty incredible that through crowdfunding and comics publishing that we've been able to get a whole building in which we can make our comics. We're going to help Jimmy get out. Make our comics and ship and distribute them. So I'll give you we'll go if you want to head out that way.
I don't think the Wi-Fi will reach that far.
Oh, the Wi-Fi won't reach it. Anyway, maybe we'll look at brag on this cool entranceway. It's cool. So this is the entrance, main entrance of HQ. And so what we have here is our ability to market, sell, and to ship and warehouse all our materials. So let's go back in the room. That's me getting kind of crazy. Thanks for coming to this part. I'll let Jimmy get in front of me. Lock the door. Get back into HQ. In our culture, we call ourselves the Sworn. So yeah, some cool art. But again, the reason why we're here is the collection. So I don't know when, I don't know what the time is. Hey Nick, what time is it?
Got 10 minutes.
10 minutes, man, until we launch this Indiegogo. Crazy, man. Well, wild. So let's go around. We're going to meet some of the folks involved with Coffin Comics. So first up, let's go back and meet, well, heck, you know what? How about this? So I've been a veteran, let me get out of this horrible light. So I've been a veteran comic creator for about 28 years. And I was first known for publishing Chaos Comics. So take a look at these walls and you'll see some of the books that I've been lucky enough to publish through the years. Including Chucky, well, my own stuff, Evil Ernie, Lady Death. But I've done comic books for Megadeth. I've written Chucky, Insane Clown Posse. I've written Nightmare on Elm Street. I've published the World Wrestling Federation comic books. Published Halloween through the years. And I've been able to do a lot of weird, cool enhancements. Here's a Megadeth comic we did with this cool printed on leather, foil printed on leather. Actually, here you go, more leather, Lady Death of leather. I was even lucky enough to write for Marvel, a series called Supernaturals. That was a 4-issue limited series. That's a Greg Capullo cover there. Done some crossovers through the years, like with Witchblade. And yeah, gosh, I've been in this game for so long. I was even there at the formative years of the direct market action figure trend. So on this side of the wall, you'll see some of the retail posters from back in the day. I'm also known for Evil Ernie, who I love and adore. Fun guy. Maybe not fun for everybody, right? So that's a little taste of my career prior to Coffin Comics. But I'd like to introduce you to a guy who's been by my side since virtually the very beginning. You mind saying hello to everybody?
Hey, my name's Nick, and I'm the editor here at Coffin.
Yeah, so Nick and I have been working together for about since 2008, so that's 11 years if you could believe it.
Dang.
And when Coffin Comics began, it really did begin kind of as a dream. I just had a spare room in our house, and I started offering stuff on mail order, picking and packing myself, and then I would call Nick up and say, I think I have like 10 hours of work a week maybe, and you would come in and help me. And then we graduated from the extra spare bedroom, and then we jumped over to a bunch of storage units, 1, 2, then 3 storage units, which totally weren't supposed to be there.
No.
So what was that like? Remember back then?
Well, we got caught one time, and then we got told that we can't do that anymore.
So I guess it's understandable. You're not allowed to operate a business out of storage units, but we were doing that for a little while, and I think what happened was we had a Black Friday sale, and we had about 8 or 10 8-foot tables along this hallway, and like we're picking and packing orders and stuff, and then this district supervisor comes by and was like, "What do we have here?
Yeah.
You can't do this here."
Because the actual manager didn't care.
Right. Yeah, we're not going to name names, but that's true. The actual manager liked us anyway. What had happened at that point? That was like really towards the end of 2014, and we got kicked out. And luckily, we actually moved to our first office space, which was about 700 square feet.
700, 900, I don't remember.
Yeah, and like when we walked in, we thought like, this is the biggest space in the world. This is great.
And then we're like, oh no, it's not.
As soon as we got in there, our first crowdfunding campaign just took up every square inch of that place. Yeah. And a couple years after that, I suppose, we were able to acquire this building. So this building formerly was actually two eyeglass doctors place.
Yeah.
And they've been trying to sell this building for 5 years. Right? Mm-hmm. And then we walked in, and we didn't want to tip anybody off, but it's like, oh, this place is perfect. Completely imperfect for everybody except us, but completely perfect for us.
Yeah, worked out pretty good.
Worked out pretty good. So then we began the process of kind of updoing it, right?
Yeah.
So actually, Jim, if you want to go back a little bit, take a look at what we're looking at here. This is actually, we're still in the war room, but this is the Coffin Comics bar. So we think every good conference room should have a bar, right? Fully stocked bar, mind you. You got to have your priorities.
We have moonshine, guys.
We do have moonshine. Well, that's true. From our pals at the Collector's Corner culture that we're friends with. Yeah. And again, like the comics that we make, they really are targeted towards college age and above. So not really for kids. So it's for us lunatic adults who grew up loving comic books, and then we started making the comics that we wanted to see. So tell you what, before we go live, which we will do in a couple minutes, for Lady Death the Collection on Indiegogo, let's take more of a look at what we got going. It's kind of fun. So everybody should have a coffin on wheels, right? Get to bring this to conventions and stuff. I kind of get in it, right? Coming at you. But check out this room. This is called Lady Death's Lounge. And inside here we have, it's a great place to take photos and stuff. There's a lot of painted artwork of the character. And then we actually do get some work done in here. So this particular room we call the crypt. Inside the crypt, we have marketing and sales. And so, hey, look, there's hard at work is, mind introducing yourself, young man?
Hey everyone, my name is Sean Arteaga. I'm the customer service and sales manager here at Coffin Comics. So when you're asking your questions, they're all going to come to me and I'm going to answer them and make sure that everything's running smooth for you.
And what's your nickname here at Coffin Comics?
Psycho Sean is my nickname, given to me by our beautiful master of ceremonies.
Hey, Sean, you know what I like to ask people just so everyone can get to know us, like, what kind of pop culture do you like the most?
You know, like it all, obviously my Batman, but I definitely have to say my zombies and the Walking Dead definitely take the cake.
Loving that. Well, look, while we're going live, I might as well jump over to Mr. Jimmy Calabrese. Jimmy, say hello to the people and what you are all about.
Hey folks, I'm Jimmy Coffin. I am the marketing manager here at Coffin Comics. I'm the one that's going to help spread the word of all this great items that Brian's putting out, all these goodies. So my favorite pop culture item is horror movies and monsters. Love the vintage monsters and that, 70s, 80s horror movies. So, we're excited to be here on Indiegogo coming up, and hopefully you guys dig our wares. Yeah.
Right on, man. Well, let's continue our tour. So follow me, and now we're going to go over to, we go into this room, but it's a total wreck. We're actually shipping a whole bunch of stuff, but if you take your time and take a look, here's a wall of some of our recent stuff. This was kind of fun about 5 years ago. Both Spawn and Lady Death were celebrating an anniversary at around the same time. Some fun shot of myself with a bunch of the monsters that I've written. Yeah, you can take a look. We've had amazing contributors through the years. Guys like J. Scott Campbell, Mark Silvestri. All of our contributors are tremendous. Mike Crome, Adam Hughes, Mike Turner, if you could imagine. Incredible stuff. And over here, there's a great plethora of art, all different kind of cool styles and attacks. And as we go from this section to the next section, this is where the magic happens. So, hey, how are we doing on time?
We got 3 minutes.
We got 3 minutes before we launch. Holy mackerel, I don't even know if we're gonna get in here, but let's do a quick version of it, right? Hey, everybody. So, hey, tell you what, real quick, I want to let you know that this is where the magic happens. This is the official warehouse of Coffin Comics. I think we're going to say hello to everybody in here and maybe come back after we do our initial launch. But I'll tell you what we do here. So, for example, all these items that you see here are items that are going to be picked for a given order. And here's the customer's order. They are picked, and then ultimately they're going to be checked. And on that other side there, they are going to be shipped on out. So we're going to come back after we do our initial launch and meet everybody. But for now, let me show you another couple of the rooms. This room over here is what we call the picking room. So right now it's a little clustered, but this is an area where I actually do some signing, or we assemble things like stretch goal packs that would go out. And then if you look over here, this is called the tombs. And so in the tombs, if you take a look inside, well, that's where all our boxes are, because those boxes will be built. They'll be part of what we happen to ship out. So I don't know what kind of time we're looking at again.
I think we got like a minute, 2 minutes.
All right, so we have a minute. We're going to come back to this section because it's a real fun section. So let's go back to where Nick is. Hey, Nick, I think we're getting close to the launch. So now this is the first time we've ever done an Indiegogo, and this is completely new to us. So see how it goes. Maybe flip around, Jimmy, and get a look at what it looks like pre-launch. Oh yeah, we only have the minute to go. Incredible. So our goal.
20 seconds.
We have 20 seconds to go. Our goal is $666. We are perfectly on brand, and let's just see how this goes. We would like to be embraced by Indiegogo culture. We'd like to meet new readers.
4, 3, 2, 1, launch.
Okay, we're launching. Let's see how it all works. This is all new to us. Let's see if we are live.
We are launched.
Okay, cool. Why don't we share that on Facebook and all that stuff? So that's what Nick's doing right now.
Wait.
He's doing it.
No.
There it is.
Share as.
We are live.
Oh, I need to share as us.
Yeah, so Nick will be going, and here we are launched. Please tell your friends, tell your enemies about Lady Death, the collection. We are launched though, right?
Yep, we are launched.
We are launched.
Right.
It's crazy. So let's go back and talk for a minute on Lady Death, the collection. Again, what we're offering on the collection, and hopefully our campaign page is really clear, it is the 10 chapters of the Comics era of Lady Death. And what we're looking to do is to get them back in print. So many of them are out of print or near out of print. And as an incentive, we're actually upgrading all the covers, and we're looking to do foil enhancements on each one if we could realize our goal. Additionally, this whole campaign on Indiegogo is about you guys getting to know us, us getting to know you. One thing in our background is we do take our manufacturing and our shipping very, very seriously. In fact, every single one of the files associated with these comics, these chapters we call them, are literally at the printer and they're ready to print. And as soon as we get a sense of what the print runs could be, we will then press the button and that'll begin the process. So for this particular campaign, we are promising to ship by February of 2020. Now you may know this or not about us, but we've done I think 17 other campaigns, and we tend to ship within 8 weeks of the close of our campaign. We'll also have a customer service representative available to you Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Arizona time, which I think right now we're on Mountain Standard Time. So you can send us a message trying to get to know us. Anything reasonable you want to ask us, we're happy to let you know. I would also point out that on our current campaign, we have frequently asked questions from which you could ask questions. So another element of the campaign are the art books, which are in stock. So this is the Naughty and the Naughtier. They run 48 pages. You'll notice that there is this beautiful velvety matte background and then a very nice UV coating. This cover is by Paolo Pantalena. This particular sequel cover, totally different book, is by Eric Basaluda. And then I mentioned earlier the Lady Death Masterpieces, which runs about 200 pages and features art by a who's who. And that book comes with a cool slipcase, and it actually comes in its own box. That way, kind of minimize the potential damage on the book. Now another option, another way to get to know our stuff is through trades and hardcovers. So Lady Death Lives Volume 1 collects the first 3 chapters of Lady Death and is available in softcover and hardcover. And then Lady Death Rules Volume 2 covers chapters 4 through 7. So combined, they cover 7 chapters, 7 of these chapters in the trade and hardcover format. In fact, if you get both the trades and or the hardcovers, we actually have a cool little bundle price. We actually have a bundle price too for these, for all 10 chapters. So all 10 chapters, the chapters are going to be available to you individually for $26, or all 10, if this is all new, would be available for $200. And here's the Coffin Comics crowdfunding value proposition. So all of the levels that we have include free US shipping, free digital download, any unlocked stretch goals as our campaign progresses, and myself, the creator, will be happy to sign them for you free of charge, and that's optional. So that's part of our value proposition. Any one of these items I would sign for you, wherever you are in the world. So now that we're off to the races and we've launched, what I'd like to do is take you back to our warehouse so you kind of get a sense of, like, who are we really? Can we deliver on this promise that, like, this is an ambitious undertaking? Can we deliver? Well, I'd like to show you that I think we can. So check it out. So here we are back at the warehouse now that we've launched. And what I wanted to do is give you a little bit more of a detailed look at it. And before I do, I'd like to introduce some of the fine people that work here in the warehouse. You mind saying hello, young lady?
Hi guys, I'm Jerry Lynn.
And Jerry Lynn, what do you do here at Coffin Comics?
I help fulfill orders. Right now I'm pulling one of our limited
edition prints.
Yeah.
If you don't mind my asking, Jerry Lynn, what's one of your favorite pop culture things?
One of the, well, the ultimate favorite would be Superman. Second favorite is actually Swamp Thing.
Nice. A DC lady.
I am.
Another fine young gentleman. Come on over, say hello to the folks, man.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
And what's your name? And tell folks a little bit about yourself.
So, my name's Randy. I work here at the Coffin Warehouse, too. I'm pulling orders as well. I get to touch all this stuff before you guys do. It's kind of fun. But yeah.
What's your favorite pop culture thing?
My favorite pop culture thing is kind of the opposite of her. I'm a big Batman fan. So,
You guys are the light and the dark in your household.
right? The bromance.
But
Yeah,
you guys
we
are
are.
Team DC.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm Team Marvel. The DC stuff that I like is all like Jack Kirby Fourth World from the 70s, but super cool. Well, guys, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Again, this is kind of what would happen is an order would come in, and there's a whole write-up on the order. That order is pulled, and it actually comes over this way. You notice all the stuff that we're pulling. It comes over where it needs to be checked. And would you mind saying hello to the folks and say hi?
Guys, my name's Dakota. I am the warehouse assistant here at Coffin Comics, and I think my favorite pop culture thing will probably be Harry Potter.
That's pretty awesome. So when orders are pulled, then they come over to you. You check them. But I know that some people have a concern about how their orders are shipped. So if I had, for example, a single chapter or single trade order, can you show us how you would ship that?
Sure. So I've got a single comic book here. Let me get any tape done. Sorry. Slightly unprepared here. So we have these boxes. These are our coffin mailers. And all we'll do is we'll twist it to the side like that. Put the comic in the middle. Fold it up nice and snug. And then we'll just tape it. Oh, sorry. Tape guns don't like to cooperate all the time. And it'll go over to our shipping department.
Super cool. It's really that easy. And in a sense, I could tell you, I'm going to make this claim, probably did about 15,000 orders last year, and our loss or damage or issues was way below 1%. But even among those orders that did have an issue, we're happy to just take care of it and settle it for everybody. So I want to let you know that we pick orders over here, they're checked over here, and then they're staged. So you can see some of the orders that are currently being staged for Coffin Comics. And then once they're actually packed, which is another element, and here you can see various things packed, they actually come over to this section where I'd like to introduce you to our warehouse and fulfillment manager. You mind saying hello to everybody?
Hi, everybody.
This is Brandy Reese. She makes it look really easy, but she is actually the coordinator of all that has to do with the warehouse and the shipping. Is there anything you'd like to say to folks out there in terms of our commitment to them in shipping? And
We are 100% committed to delivering books in mint condition and getting them to you quick.
And while we're talking, Brandy, do you mind telling people what's your favorite pop culture thing?
It's New Kids on the Block, y'all.
Ay, ay, ay. New Kids on the Block. So Brandy's our white sheep of the family here. And thank you so much for being here, though. She's a boss, and everyone
Thank
here is
you.
tremendous. It's like a blessing that we get to do all this stuff. And I know some of the elements of our job for all of us, it's kind of hard working at times, pulling things together and coordinating, but it's ultimately fun because we get to meet so many people all around the country. So thanks, everybody. Really appreciate what you're doing today. And again, we're walking through this picking area. And we're going to go back to where we started. Let's go back to where we started. I'll let you go in front of me. There you go. There's Nick. And so yeah, we're heading back over, and I think we're going to head back where. Well, we'll finish over here where we started. So again, our value proposition is here we are, Coffin Comics. This is our first Indiegogo crowdfunding program. It's going to last about 30 days, and it's called The Collection. And what we're doing is we're offering all these various trades, art books, and chapters. So I cordially invite you to get behind our campaign today. You guys have been great. I've been Brian Pulido, the publisher of Coffin Comics, and I will let you know my favorite pop cultural thing is Night of the Living Dead, the movie. My favorite comic book is Captain America, which I have read without fail since July of 1974. You guys have been great. I've been Brian Pulido. Please back our campaign today.